This is Mohan Bhagwat. He is the leader of India's largest far-right paramilitary organization, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, or RSS. Mohan Bhagwat recently said that all Muslims in India, all 200 million of them, have a boisterous rhetoric of supremacy that threatens what he believes should be an India run first and foremost by Hindus and for Hindus. This so-called Hindus first ideology is called Hindutva, an idea that, as you might have noticed already, relegates hundreds of millions of religious minorities in India into second-class citizenship. It is a supremacist ideology influenced early on by fascist ideas like Nazi racial purity, despite India being one of the world's most diverse countries. Of course, many Hindus in India and around the world, including Canada, do not agree with this Hindutva ideology or with the RSS, but that hasn't stopped the RSS and its leaders from pushing their ideologies and harming many communities. Mohan Bhagwat is the current face of this ideology in India and around the world today. He is the RSS's supreme chief leader. And this August 31st, he wants to make his first ever trip into Canada to promote the Hindutva ideology on Canadian soil. But is this what Canadians want? For a far-right paramilitary group in India to do outreach in our own neighborhoods? The answer is plainly no. It is a bad idea in India, in Canada, or anywhere else in the world to help such a supremacist ideology flourish. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's dig further into why it's such a bad idea by exploring an ideology and group that has too often escaped scrutiny across the world. This is NCCM Investigates, and today we're looking at Mohan Bhagwat and the RSS. So what does the RSS's Hindutva ideology actually look like in practice? Well, Mr. Bhagwat himself offers a pretty good example. For starters, he believes in a popular conspiracy theory commonly known in India as love jihad.
In India, a conspiracy theory is taking hold.
हिंदू लड़कियों को ही अपने प्रेम जाल में फंसाकर और उन्हीं से शादी कर उनसे ही 10-10, 15-15 बच्चे पैदा कर वो अपनी जनसंख्या बढ़ाने का कार्य कर रही है.
Yes, this is the idea that the Hindu state, as conceived by the RSS, is under threat by Muslim men in India seducing Hindu women and having children with them to increase the number of Muslims in India. So what is Mr. Bhagwat's view on this issue?
Now this is a breaking story coming in that RSS chief has commented on love jihad, saying that efforts to prevent love jihad must begin at home. He stressed that the awareness needs to begin within households. Within households, there needs to be more dialogue and awareness about what he calls the dangers of love jihad.
Well, there you have it. If the head of India's largest paramilitary, with about 4 million global members, affirms this weird theory, then you can bet that the rank and file are also pushing the same anti-Muslim narrative. Thousands and thousands of RSS members and connected individuals have taken over entire city streets to protest supposed love jihad by sinister Muslim men. The result has been blood on the streets.
New nationalist groups say Muslim men are carrying out a sinister plot to create an Islamic republic. And they say they'll do whatever it takes to stop so-called love jihad, sometimes with deadly consequences.
हाँ सर, एक किस्म से तो लग रहा था कि बांधा हुआ कुछ रस्सी दिख रही थी. फिर मेरे को डाउट हो गया कि सुसाइड नहीं किया मेरा भाई. कुछ तो चाल है, मर्डर किया हुआ है.
Cases of Muslim men being murdered for allegedly courting Hindu women and girls have become commonplace across India for years. The wide influence of the RSS also means that since 2020, several regions in India, including in Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, India's largest states, have passed laws barring marriages that have links to religious conversion. Meanwhile, Mohan Bhagwat has only fueled the fire. This is someone who thinks that Hindus have been at war for centuries in India against other religious groups and has publicly justified the RSS network's violent actions by saying that it's only natural for those at war to be aggressive. Again, the goal of the RSS and people like Bhagwat are clear. They believe that millions of RSS members must lead the charge in making India a country run by Hindus and for Hindus, period. This is the same man trying to visit Canada this month to rally his followers around this dangerous and violent message, all on Canadian soil. Is this something we want? Unfortunately, mass violence against Muslims and other religious minorities in India by RSS mobs are not limited only to the love jihad issue. The RSS network has a very, very long history of directly participating in and cheering on mass violence in India, particularly against Muslims. Some of the worst of this bloodletting happened after Mohan Bhagwat took over the RSS in 2009 as chief leader. Let's take a look at just a couple of examples. In August 2013, massive riots unfolded in the Uttar Pradesh district of Muzaffarnagar after an incident where two Hindu cousins killed a Muslim man, possibly during a traffic altercation. The two cousins were then allegedly killed by a mob of angry Muslims, prompting a massive anti-Muslim gathering to take place days later. According to police, speakers at this gathering made inflammatory remarks to a massive crowd of around 100,000 people, falsely framing the incident as two Hindu cousins protecting a Hindu girl from harassment by a Muslim man that they murdered. These instigators urged the crowd to violently retaliate against their Muslim neighbors. Many elected officials were also in attendance for this big meeting, including several politicians from the Bharatiya Janata Party, or the BJP, which currently governs India and is the main political organization within the larger RSS network. Investigations later concluded that these BJP officials egged on the crowd a lot. And to no one's surprise, anti-Muslim riots then took place right after this large gathering in Muzaffarnagar, leading to over 40 Muslims killed and a staggering 50,000 villagers forced out of their homes. Arrest warrants were eventually issued for several BJP politicians. One was even sentenced to 12 years in prison. It was also understood that the RSS network had been the primary instigators in this horrific episode. Later investigations make it clear that RSS groups had long been organizing among rural populations to push the love jihad narrative. They helped push this false idea in rural places like Muzaffarnagar in order to fan the flames of anti-Muslim hate, resulting in mass killings and mass sexual violence. What unfolded in Muzaffarnagar was the worst violence in India in a decade, but far from the last. Instances of RSS-related violence in India has been almost non-stop during the leadership of Mr. Mohan Bhagwat. We would need hours to go through all of it. But another recent case also deserves highlighting. This time in 2019, right after the RSS-backed BJP party of Narendra Modi just won their second consecutive general election to govern India. Just a few months later, the BJP government passed something called the Citizenship Amendment Act, which excludes Muslim refugees in India from a new, sped-up path towards full Indian citizenship. The law was criticized around the world as an unconstitutional move, clearly meant to marginalize Muslim refugees in India. The law almost immediately drew mass street protests, particularly in the large city of New Delhi. Clashes with police were common, and amidst all the chaos, BJP lawmakers showed up to deliver speeches calling for violence against protesters. One such BJP politician, Kapil Mishra, is infamous for telling crowds to, quote, shoot the traitors of the country, unquote, while giving police a 3-day ultimatum to clear the demonstrations before his own RSS-connected supporters take the law into their own hands. Mishra wasn't the only BJP figure doing this, and as we can all imagine, the crowd responded. Large mobs rampaged through Muslim neighborhoods in northeast Delhi, resulting in over 30 deaths, many mosques attacked and vandalized, and thousands of Muslims forced out of their homes.
Entire neighborhoods ripped apart as mobs roam the streets. The riots have been centered in the northeast of the city, in largely Muslim neighborhoods. This mosque was set alight. The charred remains lay scattered. The the death toll's rising.
A famous report about the incident by former judges and legal experts detailed how far-right Hindutva groups within the RSS network, like the Bajrang Dal and the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, or VHP, were directly involved in organizing anti-Muslim violence on the ground in New Delhi. So, to be clear, what happened in New Delhi and in Muzaffarnagar are just two examples of the many, many similar instances of Islamophobic mass violence across India, organized and instigated by RSS network groups under the leadership of Mohan Bhagwat. As we noted moments ago, Bhagwat has his own way of explaining all this away. He said, Hindu society has been at war for over 1,000 years, and it's because of all this that the Hindu society has awakened. It is but natural for people who are at war to be aggressive. But let's be honest, the RSS mentality of anti-Muslim violence and far-right nationalism also far predates the leadership of Mohan Bhagwat himself. It is over 100 years old. We've already mentioned some of the mass violence that occurred while Bhagwat himself took over as leader of the RSS. But there are many, many other older and important examples. One particularly brutal episode bears special mention for the sheer scale of its anti-Muslim atrocities. I'm talking about the infamous Gujarat massacres of 2002. Here's what happened. In February of 2002, a train carrying mostly Hindu pilgrims caught fire, likely by an act of arson, and killed 59 people. Massive anti-Muslim mobs organized by RSS network groups then rioted through the state of Gujarat's Muslim areas for weeks, resulting in over 1,000 Muslim deaths, mass sexual violence, and a staggering 150,000 internally displaced refugees. Subsequent reports by Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International, among other groups, specifically pointed the finger at RSS network groups like the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, or VHP, as the main driver of the mass anti-Muslim violence, referring to their plans as diabolical and carnage. The same goes for the BJP, the party that now runs India, who were also implicated in these diabolical plans to push anti-Muslim mass violence across Gujarat. They were the party that ran Gujarat at the time. The Human Rights Watch report specifically noted how these mobs, clad in the official RSS saffron color and wielding everything from explosive canisters to knives, somehow got their hands on voters' lists that showed the home addresses of hundreds of Muslim households in Gujarat. This shocking fact intensified the spotlight on the BJP and the man who ran Gujarat for the BJP at the time, Narendra Modi, the current Prime Minister of India. After news of these massacres hit international headlines, countries like the United States, the UK, and even the entire European Union boycotted Modi for close to a decade. But a word should also be spared with regards to Mohan Bhagwat in relation to this genocidal violence. What was his role during this horrid episode in modern India? Well, in 2002, as the riots unfolded, Mr. Bhagwat was the General Secretary of the RSS, responsible for day-to-day operations, policy implementation, and organizational coordination. In other words, he was second in command for the entire RSS at the time. Neither Bhagwat nor Modi have ever admitted fault when it comes to the RSS network's direct involvement in killing over 1,000 Muslims that year. So with that in mind, is Mohan Bhagwat the kind of figure that Canada wants to welcome? Let's be real. If anything, Mr. Bhagwat should probably be standing in front of a tribunal, answering for the atrocities that RSS network groups have carried out in recent years. And yet, if Canada blocks him from coming, which we absolutely should do, the reality is still that the RSS network has already long been at work inside Canadian society. We here at NCCM did the work, researched their presence in Canada, and published our findings in a report that you can download from our website. Our work on this led to some of the first mainstream media reports on the presence of far-right Hindutva and RSS groups in Canada. The overall picture is disturbing. RSS network organizations like the Hindu Swayamsevak Sangh, or HSS, organize their members using public school spaces across Canada, while other similar organizations have charitable status in Canada and funnel their money overseas. This is a well-known and documented practice. But in recent years, Canadians are slowly wising up to the dangers of having these groups around inside Canada. In June of 2023, an outspoken Sikh separatist leader named Hardeep Singh Nijjar was gunned down in Surrey, British Columbia. Major investigations then implicated the BJP government in his murder, turning the whole episode into a major international scandal, particularly for India. The incident alerted Canadian leaders to the depth of the BJP government's political interference in Canada, to the extent that they were directly linked to criminals operating on our soil. As a result, then Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly made the following announcement in 2024.
And as of today, and as a consequence, we've expelled a top Indian diplomat from Canada.
She was referring to none other than the Indian High Commissioner at the time, Sanjay Kumar Verma, who was kicked out along with 5 other India diplomats. Today, in 2026, India-Canada relations have warmed up again, but not enough for the ugly issue of the BJP government's criminal connections in Canada to completely go away. We know that one confirmed criminal entity linked to the Nijjar assassination and to the BJP government is the infamous Bishnoi gang, named after Lawrence Bishnoi, a crime boss who is serving time in India, but who is also coordinating crimes like murder and drug trafficking while behind bars. Wiretaps, intercepts, and other pieces of evidence from the RCMP and other agencies show that the Bishnoi gang likely acted on behalf of the Indian government while committing some of their crimes inside Canada, all of which led to this announcement last year.
The federal government has just named a criminal gang from India as a terrorist entity. The Bishnoi gang has been linked to the 2023 killing of Sikh separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar in Surrey, BC. Public Safety Canada says the gang is active in parts of Canada with significant diaspora communities. It says the gang commits murder, shootings, and arson, and generates terror through extortion and intimidation of community members and businesses. Listing the gang as a terrorist entity allows the government to seize its assets and gives law enforcement more tools for prosecution.
Now, remember that the Bishnoi gang activities, which have been classified as terrorist, are linked to the BJP government, which is part of the wider RSS family. The RSS ideology is what connects all of these entities together. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been an RSS member since he was a teenager. The RSS and BJP are reshaping India to be a Hindutva nation that renders all minorities into second-class status. As we have seen, they are willing to use murder and mass violence to silence their enemies anywhere in the world. That violence has since spilled over onto Canadian soil, and it threatens to get worse unless we remain vigilant and act fast. That ultimately means banning the entire RSS network from operating inside Canada and not welcoming Mohan Bhagwat into Canada this summer.